Good morning and welcome back to the vlog. If you're new here, my name is Phillip. I am a nature and landscape photographer based in the Midwest here in the United States. And if you're not new here, welcome back, fam. I am currently in Zion National Park. I'm in the middle of a road trip through the Southwest, so hitting all the major national parks. So right now I'm in Zion. I was in Arches, Capitol Reef. I went to Dead Horse Point State Park. That's a mouthful. I'm going to the Grand Canyon later today. So if that sounds cool to you and you want to follow along, go ahead and subscribe. Lots of cool content coming up on the channel. Today I am going to Angel's Landing, so stay tuned for that. Right now I'm in the visitor center parking lot. I'm just gonna grab some food real quick. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. First shuttle leaves at 7, so I kind of want to get up there before it gets too crowded and just kind of enjoy a nice, I would say peaceful hike, but it's Angel's Landing, so I don't know. I'm not too bad with heights, but everyone says the drop-offs are insane, but I guess we'll see when we get up there. So like I said, I'm gonna eat and do that, and then later on this evening do some more a few more shorter hikes around here, and we'll be moving on to the Grand Canyon next. So let's go.
In the paradise, we can work it out and see the hard times fading. In the sunrise, we can flee the night. In the paradise, we can work it out and see the hard times fading. In the sunrise, we can flee the night.
Okay, so it's been a little bit since I checked in, at least for me anyway, in my life. Gosh, where do we even start? So, the hike to Angel's Landing was pretty incredible. The views were amazing. The hike was really tough, honestly. Like some of the steepest inclines I've ever tried to hike up, or I ever did hike up. And there was this one section called the Wiggles that was literally just back and forth switchbacks up this mountain, dude. It was, it was a thigh burner, that's for sure. So I get up to Angel's Landing, and as a lot as you probably may know, there's a section where you have to use chain to help you get across this really sketchy part. And basically what happened was, and what I decided on was that because there were so many people on the trail and I mean, I personally, I hike quite a bit. I mean, I'm not the most experienced hiker in the world or anything, but I hike quite a bit. But honestly, it just seemed like too sketchy of a situation to me. I mean, there's one place right before you get to the spine that's called the Scout, I believe, and that has a pretty good view down the canyon. So I got there and looked at the spine and saw how many people were crammed on to that and decided it just wasn't safe. Like I said, I trust myself. I know what I'm capable of as a hiker, but I have no idea what any of these people. I mean, there are younger kids up there. There's older people up there. Like, I have no idea if someone would freak out and get scared and like reach out and grab me or anything like that. And it just wasn't an ideal situation. So unfortunately, I didn't go all the way to the top, and I mean, that's kind of a bummer because I really wanted to do that. But I think in the future, if I ever get a chance to go back, I think the solution is to make sure that I get on the first shuttle and basically not even bring my camera gear, just go for a fast pack type of gear and just haul up there and come back down before a lot of people start crowding it up. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if they started issuing permits for that hike because it is way too crowded for all those people to be trading back and forth on those chains. Because what happens is you're coming down as people are going up, and you have to let go of the chain to go around people, which is not safe at all, not even close to safe. So yeah, that was just a situation that I wasn't comfortable putting myself in, so I didn't do it, and I'm okay with it. Like I said, I'm bummed out, but yeah, risking my life in an unnecessary way for a view isn't worth all that, especially when I wanted to experience a little bit more of Zion. So having said that, let's talk about the rest of my experience in Zion. So got back on the little shuttle bus, which that system works pretty good. I mean, you have to wait, and it kind of takes a while because it stops at every stop. But you know, it keeps vehicles out of the canyon, which there's no place to park up there anyway, so there's no reason for vehicles to go up there. And it keeps more of the park wild because they don't have to create parking lots for people to park in. So went up to the Temple of Sinawava, which is the last stop, which is where the Narrows technically begins. However, the Narrows was closed due to high water flow, which was another bummer, but what can you do? I mean, it's early in the year. You try to avoid crowds and avoid the heat. But Zion's the fourth most visited park in the nation. So, I mean, I don't know if you can avoid crowds. You avoid heat. Have less crowds for sure. But, and so there's the Riverside Walk, I believe is what the trail is called. And that was really beautiful, and I enjoyed that. And about the time, you know, I was finishing up with that and walking around the river and kind of grabbing some shots and checking all these cute little rock squirrels or whatever, I was getting super tired, so I went back down in the trolley system or whatever, and then I just passed out in my hammock next to the river that like runs through over by the Welcome Center. And then I woke up and realized that somehow I made a mistake, and I thought that the Grand Canyon was only 2 hours away. It turns out it's 4 hours away from Zion. So I packed up everything real quick, like didn't vlog, didn't do any of that, and like just got on the road and like grabbed like crappy gas station food. And I'm on the road now, and now I'm in Arizona, and picked up a random couple photos from like this cool little bridge area that I had no idea about, kind of over by the Vermilion Cliffs, if you're familiar with that. And so I was still heading down to the Grand Canyon, and I'm looking at these times, and so I do not understand time in Arizona, because what my GPS is, it's all jacked up. So because of that, I switched my plan up, and now I'm actually headed to Horseshoe Bend, because I don't think, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think right now that I'll be able to make it to Grand Canyon by sunset, which for me, there's no point in driving 2 hours to arrive in the dark, when right now I'm 20 minutes away from Horseshoe Bend. It's super moody right now. It was raining a little bit earlier, and finding focus, sorry. I lost my train of thought now. So I'm headed to Horseshoe Bend now. I'm 20 minutes away, and yeah, there's no reason for me to go down to the Grand Canyon right now if I'm not gonna get light, when I can go to Horseshoe Bend and I'm in daylight. So I'm gonna go do that. So just to catch you guys up, so you're not just like, oh yeah, I thought you were going to the Grand Canyon. I'll still be going to the Grand Canyon, but right now we're going to Horseshoe Bend. So let's go check that out and see what that's all about. Okay, so got to Horseshoe Bend, and it should be noted that the GPS does not take you to the correct location. And at the time of this recording, the GPS, if you're coming from the south, the GPS takes you to the turn south of it. You actually have to keep going up the road a little bit closer towards Page. And when you come down on this highway, you'll see it. There's like a huge infrastructure built around this place now, and they're still building it up right now. When I was here, there's like a little toll booth that you go through. It's like $10 to park. You can't leave, so it's $10 and that's it. Once you leave, you're gonna have to pay $10 if you want to come back. So you come in, you park, and they have this construction here where they're building bathrooms and more parking. So this area is definitely getting very commercialized, which, I mean, what can you do? It's basically pretty much what happens now. There's a short walk out there, and holy cow, it's impressive. Luckily, there was some nasty weather moving through, which I was actually thrilled about. And the rain and wind was starting to whip, and like sand was blowing everywhere, and it scared everybody away. And I'm just sitting there too, like setting my gear up and trying to set up a time lapse. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay out there because I thought that, my gear was gonna get wet, and I kept, I was debating it back and forth. And I was like, well, just wait it out. And sure enough, luckily I got, I ended up getting some time out there almost completely alone because the weather scared everybody away, and the rain actually quit. The gear didn't get too wet, and got a short time lapse because I wasn't out there very long before it got dark. Got a couple, like only really one photo and then a pano. And yeah, that place is really difficult to photograph. It would take a lot more time. I would have to spend some more time in that location because Horseshoe Bend is so wide. Like, it is absolutely massive. And at 17 millimeters, I wasn't even close to getting, the bottom of the bend with like a good amount of sky, because the sky was moody. Like if I guess the sky was boring, you could do it a little bit better, but since the sky was moody, I wanted to include that because I thought that was a good prominent feature of the environment and what was going on. But yeah, so 17 millimeter really wasn't that wide, so that's why I ended up doing the pano, because I wanted at least one shot that had all of the band in its entirety, from like the water and the sky and stuff. So I'll probably show you those images. And now I think I'm gonna head down to the Grand Canyon and hopefully catch a good sunrise tomorrow. So we'll see, fingers crossed. It's a couple hours down there, so I better get going. It's already pretty late. So that'll do it for this video. Like I said, I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning for sunrise at the Grand Canyon. If you like this video, drop a like. If you have any questions about what's going on with the trip, gear, logistics, anything like that, drop a comment. I'll get back to you. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because like I said, Grand Canyon, we got Monument Valley coming up, and then I'm going to be spending some time in Telluride, Colorado as well. So this trip isn't quite over yet. Still a lot of cool stuff yet to be seen. So yeah, I'm stoked. It's been a great trip so far. Can't really complain. I've had great weather, great conditions. And how is my lighting set up for the car, by the way? This is pretty interesting. And thanks for watching.